One of the best things about Minecraft is how it looks. The idea that people can make incredible structures and landscapes within a game made from cubes is crazy to think about, especially considering how simple these blocks are. What many people don't consider though is how the game looks without any player interaction. Think back to when you first opened a Minecraft world. The first thing you most likely saw was a tree, or an ocean, or a village. The way these generate are now synonymous with the game, for better or worse. But what you saw when you first loaded in 2011 is much different from what you would see today. Minecraft is on the brink of a huge update, 1.17, which although it will change the underground, the thing most people don't see is how this will affect the world generation overall. Today, I'm going to be giving a history of Minecraft world generation and giving my thoughts on what should happen from here and how in a few years' time, Minecraft will be far different. Minecraft, at first, didn't really have any real terrain. For the first few versions, it was just variations of different floor materials on a flat plane, with lots of Steve skins just jumping around. There were minor terrain changes, like making the plane not quite as flat, but nothing huge until version C0.30_01C. This introduced simple trees, hills, and holes in the ground. At this point, the world was only 256 blocks squared, but this would change upon the addition of small, normal, and huge world size options, which were removed when the world was made pretty much infinite. The terrain generator would make great changes over the next few versions, with the additions of caves, lakes and oceans, lava, ores, and plenty of other small things, like roughening up the terrain and smoothing it out. While once the world was surrounded by an ocean, the world border transitioned to stone walls, bedrock walls, and then the Farlands, a very famous Minecraft area. Bedrock at the bottom of the world was swapped to a lava lake, then back again. Mountains were made bigger, removed, flattened, and generally changed to not make them look so crazy. Caves had lots of changes, as they were made to be larger as they got lower, put in clusters, and giving more ore inside them. The world also had to adapt to other things being added, like new blocks and structures. When things like clay, sugarcane, and cactus were added, the world had to add them too, and the same thing happened to structures like dungeons. There were also several structures like brick pyramids and starter houses, which were later removed and not reintroduced, like many other features are. The largest change was in version 1.2.0, however. This added biomes like deserts and swamps and the nether dimension. Many variations of trees were also introduced, such as birch and spruce trees. In pre-release 1.8, strongholds, mineshafts, and villages were added, as well as the removal of the Farlands. Another huge addition in Minecraft 1.0.0 was the end, and the new dimension at the end of the game. After the full release of Minecraft, most of the changes were small. The main changes were the additions of structures like desert wells, desert pyramids, and swamp huts, as well as jungles and the jungle pyramid. This all changed, however, in 1.7.2. This update, as well as improving many old features, also added biomes like the mesa, savanna, roofed forest, and deep ocean. The huge number of new blocks added in this update is insane, but it also introduced a new feature which is especially prominent right now. Amplified worlds are a type of world which you can access in the creator options while you're making a world. They are worlds where the terrain goes up to the height limit of the world and also goes down to the bottom. This is especially important today as the world height is about to be increased from 251 blocks to 320 blocks, showing how Minecraft is willing to play with height variation in worlds generation. After 1.8, however, Minecraft's popularity began to fall. This was due to a series of bad updates and a general disinterest for the game, as it was quite old by this point. There was not really much change in how Minecraft was generated at this time, but the major things added were the end expansion, adding new islands and end cities, as well as several minor biome changes and new structures. Minecraft was at its lowest point. In 2018, the update Aquatic was released. This overhauled the oceans, which used to be dark and empty, adding many new blocks and mobs. It sparked interest from a community who had not seen an update as good as this one in years, and began the rise to where Minecraft is today. The next update was also a success, the Village and Pillage update, again building on a long forgotten part of Minecraft that really needed an update. This update also updated the Taiga biome through a vote, where 3 biomes were shown off and the community had to choose one which would be added into the game. These successful updates began what we are currently in now, which many would call a golden age of the game. 1.16 the Nether update was also hugely successful as it added new biomes to the harsh dimension and made people want more new biomes. This also updated the generation of the Nether, showing how the developers are willing to change older features to make them look better and be more usable. And now it's the present day. At the time of making this video, in the snapshot stage of Minecraft 1.17, the Caves and Cliffs update, again taking advantage of a highly requested update to improve terrain. So far, the update has proven that it can have amazing natural terrain, and they are not afraid to create huge new formations such as the mountains and, again, the bigger caves. Therefore, I think it is a good time to think about what Minecraft will do next, and how it could easily have much better terrain than it has now, and how they will and probably should go about updating it. We already have a pretty good idea of what will be updated in terms of biomes due to the biome votes at Minecon Live. In these, updates for the Savannah, Mesa, Taiga, Swamp, Mountain and Desert were revealed, but the only biome updates that have been introduced are the Taiga in 1.14 and the Mountains set for 1.17 due to them winning the vote. The biomes not chosen have many interesting features, however. The first 2 voted off in 2018 were the Savannah, containing baobab trees, ostriches and termites, and the Desert, containing meerkats, palm trees and oases. Both biomes have potential as they both have good new mobs and new tree types, but somehow the biome that added berries won over them. In 2019, the ones voted off were the Swamp, adding chest boats, mangrove trees and frogs, and the Badlands, also known as the Mesa, adding tumbleweed, a new cactus variety and vultures. They also have a huge number of good features, especially the Swamp with chest boats. Another biome that has been updated is the Jungle, with the addition of pandas and bamboo, but it is likely it will be updated more. However, I'm more interested in the things that haven't been confirmed, so here are the 3 major things I think should be updated. The most strange and inconsistent thing in Minecraft in terms of world generation is water features, as most of the time they don't really make sense. In the real world, rivers normally begin in the mountains as streams, then join with other smaller streams to create rivers that run down to the ocean. I think this would make a lot of sense to do this in Minecraft, as it would give the world more structure, and also since the mountains being updated anyway, you could definitely introduce that in that. It would also make sense to re-evaluate how landmasses in Minecraft generate. In the current version, land normally surrounds oceans, but I think it would make more sense if there were large continents that have seas separating them. An improved water system would also mean Minecraft create river valleys and make it so where land generates makes sense. It would be no surprise to any of us to learn that many people want new biomes. There are many mods to add such things, and there are quite a few which will probably be added. Things like cherry blossom forests, autumn forests and pine forests are most likely to be introduced due to the large number of new blocks that this would give and the amount of people who would use them. This would also mean certain landmasses could be based on certain climate zones, such as a warm desert island or a snowy tundra island. People also want more improvements to existing biomes, but we've already talked about what those will probably look like. Minecraft generation has been considered quite boring for some time. Right now, everything seems quite flat and doesn't really seem to have many height variation and layers to it. What I think is that normal biomes should be removed and should be replaced with the only hilly variants. Now, there are 2 biome variations for most biomes. There is the normal variation and the hilly variation. In my experience, I found that it's much more exciting to go and explore and build on hillier terrain, while the flat terrain is quite boring. This would make it so much more fun to just randomly walk around your world. It would also be useful to fix villages and how other structures spawn, as they often spawn in awkward and strange ways. I also think that the generation should be somewhat reverted to back what it used to look like before, because I've seen so many images of old Minecraft terrain that looks so much more interesting than what it is now. What I don't want, however, is for it to sort of look like custom terrain that YouTubers and builders make, as I think they do look cool, but we need to keep Minecraft looking Minecrafty. Overall, I think Minecraft will improve its terrain generation in many ways which I have stated today. They have consistently shown that they are willing to redo old features that seem boring now, and that they have the time and ideas to do it. Since the cave update has been announced, I think many people are realising that Mojang really want to make us happy and will listen to our opinions on what we want. And if they hear a good community suggestion, they will be absolutely happy to put it in the game. If you guys liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and tell me if there's anything else you want me to do this sort of video on. Thank you, bye.